This young man had everything anyone could wish for: the fame, the money, the talent, and the backing of Africa's biggest producer. He was famous and established, but in a blink of an eye, everything started to slip away. One award turned into a curse. One tweet destroyed his image, and one mistake made the world question his entire career. This is a story of Reekado Banks, an artist who got signed to the biggest record label in Africa, but his career was covered in the web of controversies that would later destroy him. So today, I'm going to tell you the shocking rise and painful fall of Reekado Banks. And trust me, it's not the story you think you know. My name is Prince Theophilus, and this is Fame and Fallout. To understand the story of Reekado Banks, let's go back to the very beginning. He was born Ayolei Haniel Solomon in December 1993 in Lagos, Nigeria, in a very strict but supportive Christian family. His father was a pastor, his mother was a strong businesswoman, and his elder brother was the key that would later unlock his destiny. Reekado Banks was the last born of the family, a family that adores music. He grew up in the church doing the things of God, and that was where he learned discipline, humility, and music. By the age of 14, he already finished secondary school, and that was where him and his brother Temi Solomon started recording music. That year was 2018. His brother taught him the fundamentals of writing, singing, and producing. In fact, at the beginning of his career, his brother produced all his songs. When Reekado Banks finally understood music, he didn't just want to sing. He wanted to write and tell stories through his songs. And together, they started recording demos in their family's house. But here is the twist. Reekado Banks never imagined that those rough demos recorded in their home would one day reach the ears of Africa's biggest producer. Because in 2013, something unexpected happened. In 2013, Don Jazzy, the kingmaker, the man who created superstars from D'banj to Wandeko to Tiwa Savage and many more, launched a talent hunt, an open call to find the next big voice. Unknown to Reekado Banks, his brother secretly submitted his songs, and out of 5,000 entries, his voice stood out. Smooth, soulful, and different. It wasn't just another singer. It was someone who could bend his voice to fit any sound, any genre, be it Afrobeat, reggae, dancehall, highlife. It was versatile. In 2014, Don Jazzy announced Reekado Banks into Mavin Records, and that same year, he released his first single, Turn It Up, featuring Tiwa Savage.
Why your blood hot when it calm down, eh? Baby, I'm no kid.
That song wasn't loud enough because I guess it didn't make it to the mainstream. But then came the Mavin Records collaboration with the hit song Dorobushi. His voice stood out on that record, and that was when he started getting recognition. He also featured in Adaobi, Rise, and Lukuluku. By this time, the audience were already familiar with the name Reekado Banks. In 2015, Reekado Banks released his breakout singles Catapult.
If them like me, them fire catapult of envy.
That song became a hit. Not only did the song become a hit song, but it helped Reekado Banks stand out among other artists signed by Mavin Records. But guess what helped the song to the mainstream? Controversy. This is a little backstory. Catapult was released 1 year after Don Jazzy established Mavin Records. That was after the fall of Mohit's record. D'banj and Don Jazzy had a serious fight that put them apart. If you want to know exactly what happened between Don Jazzy and D'banj that led to the end of Mohit's record, click this link here to watch the full video. But hold on, let's finish this story. So because of the issue between Don Jazzy and D'banj, fans assumed that Catapult was targeted at D'banj and Wandeko because the song made reference to envy, jealousy, and betrayal. And that controversy helped the song gain popularity. It put Reekado Banks on the charts, radio stations, and everywhere. It became an anthem because it could also be referred to as a love song. In 2015, Reekado Banks got nominated at the Headies for the Next Rated. That was supposed to be a good news, right? But what was supposed to be a good news would later become a blessing and a curse. Reekado Banks got nominated alongside Kesh, Kiss Daniel, Korede Bello, and Setia Morgan. The real battle was between Reekado Banks and Kesh. At that time, Kesh had several hit songs for the streets. So basically, the streets loved him. He had the streets at his feet. While Reekado Banks was the industry favorite, let's just say he sang for the elite. His song wasn't just for the streets. Everyone could listen to his song and enjoy it. But there are certain set of people that will listen to Kesh music and his. For example, me, because his lyrics contain a lot of vulgar languages that I personally don't like. And I believe some people might not also like his lyrics. But a lot of people were expecting Kesh to win the award because, of course, the voice of the street is the loudest. But when the winner was announced, it was Reekado Banks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner for the next rated 2015 is Reekado Banks.
If I quit music right now, I think I've achieved everything I want. All I wanted to do was get the Headies like Wandeko.
But this is where the story turned dark. Before we proceed, my name is Prince Theophilus. I'm a career and a life coach and a music business consultant. I help talent discover themselves, avoid career mistakes, and understand how to market themselves to the world. If you are an artist, content creation, comedian, or you are doing anything in the creative space, but you are struggling to take your career to the next level, or a record label executive that is struggling to market your artist, talk to me. I offer private consultation, but it's not free. All you need to do is click the link in the description to book a session, or send me a DM on Instagram with private session. I'll reply you, and together we can take your career to the next level. Let's get back to the story. After Reekado Banks won the award, the streets got angry. Not only the streets, but Olamide was also angry. So when Adekunle Gold won his category, Olamide stepped forward and grabbed the mic, and what he said shocked everyone. This is what he said.
Adekunle Gold, let's be honest, this award belongs to Lil Kesh because Lil Kesh is our next rated artist. Fuck that shit! Baba Yaya! Street is takeover! Every fucking single was a hit, back to back. From lyrically to shocky to FS Joku, couldn't tell for anybody.
Now, this is where the story turned into chaos. Olamide's speech made everyone believe that the award was political and not just. And of course, when the leader of the street speaks, the results will be catastrophic. At this point, it was no longer about Kesh and Reekado Banks. It was a battle between Don Jazzy and Olamide. So when Don Jazzy climbed the stage, this is what he said.
Olamide, if you want the car, come and collect it. God bless you.
Don Jazzy, of course, doesn't want any problem. And after the award, instead of Reekado Banks to be celebrating, that award became a curse. Because the fans of Kesh called him a thief, an award snatcher, and the label is win undeserving.
I mean, there was so much bands about anybody and all that on that day. And it felt really bad because I felt undeserving of it. I felt less of myself. I felt like I was not good enough. I felt like Don Jazzy didn't see the right person, you know.
Reekado Banks said winning the Headies had always been his dream. But when he won the award, it was not worth celebrating.
Before Reekado Banks, before anything like that, I always watched Headies and always wanted to be a part of it. Like, it was like the most prestigious award. I mean, it still is, but at that time it felt like the end. It felt like the peak. It felt like the highest to any Nigerian artist's career. Do you get me? For me, and I always wanted to, you know, one day get on that stage and most probably pick up an award. And when I finally got the chance to, you know, be able to get an award, I actually got both awards I was nominated. In
2016, Reekado Banks decided to prove himself. He wanted the world to know that he could stand on his own, and so he released his first debut album, Spotlight. 21 tracks album, carefully crafted, packed with love songs, club bangers, and emotional ballads. The album entered the Billboard World Album chart at number 10. That was not just a Nigerian achievement, that was international recognition. Songs like Oluwani, Catapult, Sugar Baby, and Standard became anthems. Every DJ, every radio station, every wedding playlist had a piece of Reekado Banks in it. That album was commendable. It was a masterpiece. After that album, he released several singles, including Easy.
Girl, I have a question to ask you today.
In 2018, he released Blessing on Me. Reekado Banks had become a superstar. Endorsements started rolling in. Brand wanted his face. Clubs wanted to see him perform. And fans wanted his voice. Reekado Banks was different. He wasn't the loudest. He wasn't the craziest. But he had something many artists lacked. Consistency. At this point, it seemed nothing could ever stop him. He had Don Jazzy behind his back. He had hits. He had fames. But behind the scene, Reekado Banks was planning. He was making a decision. And that decision would change everything. In December 2018, the fans woke up to a shocking news. Reekado Banks had officially left Mavin Records. At first, it looked peaceful. No fight, no public dragging, just a calm statement saying he was moving on to start his own record label, Banks Music. But in the Nigerian music industry, leaving Don Jazzy's camp is never a small move because Mavin is not just a record label. It's a family, it's a structure, it's a machine that powers artists into superstardom. So when Reekado Banks left, what he never knew was he left behind more than just Don Jazzy. He left behind a whole system of promotion, marketing, and industry connections. In the beginning, he thought he could handle it. He thought his fame was enough to sustain him. He thought the world would keep shining on him the way Mavin did. But he was wrong, because fame is not just about talent. It's about strategy. It's about the team behind you. And without Don Jazzy's machine, Reekado Banks was about to learn the hard way. When he left Mavin, he thought it was freedom. He thought it was the next big step into destiny. But freedom in the music industry comes with a price. At Mavin, everything was structured. The beats, the promotion, the PR, the social media push, and the brand packaging. Don Jazzy handled everything. But now, at Banks Music, Reekado Banks was the CEO. He was the artist. He was a manager. He was the brand. And slowly, the weight became too heavy for him. And the biggest mistake he made after leaving Mavin was he sacked his brother. The same person that first submitted his demo to Don Jazzy that led to his contract with Mavin Records. The same brother who was there for him. According to him, he said him and his brother had different goals. So he wanted to try something different, something nobody had done in the music industry.
Main idea behind wanting to be alone or running my own stuff was the fact that I wanted to figure things out myself.
Okay.
I just wanted to be a man eventually because I had to be a man at some point.
But did he really do anything different? Well, let's find out. His first two singles after leaving Mavin didn't make it. The kind of noise he was expecting, he didn't get it. But in 2019, he released Rora. And that song became a hit. He believed, yes, he can still make it without Mavin. But after Rora, his music career struggled. Throughout the rest of 2019, he had no hit. And in the background, a new wave was rising. Young stars like Fireboy, Joe Boy, and later Rema were taking over. The industry was moving fast, and Reekado was nowhere to be found. So fans began to ask, where is Reekado Banks? Why is he not dropping hits like before? But here is the painful truth. Without Mavin's engine, without Mavin's backing, his music career was not reaching as far as he could. In September 2020, Reekado Banks made another mistake. And that mistake was the beginning of his downfall, because he started losing fans after this. During a Ask Burna session on Twitter, a fan asked Burna Boy, if you were to go on a hit battle with any fellow Nigerian artist, who would that be? Burna Boy replied, I don't really know what hit battle is, but I'm willing to go toe-to-toe with anybody challenger, lyrically, musically, physically, however they want it. At this point, I don't know whatever Reekado Banks was thinking, but he accepted Burna Boy's challenge by replying his tweet. He said, I'm game, that energy, let's get it. It was supposed to be a normal response from an artist to another artist, but Burna Boy's response changed the entire narrative. Burna Boy replied with laugh emojis. He said, "You know I got love for you, bro, but you need to hear when I say worthy challenger." And he laughed at him. In a nutshell, Burna Boy was telling Reekado Banks, "You are not worthy of challenging me. You are not in my league. You are just a small boy." That tweet alone sent a wrong perspective. It was like an attack on Reekado Banks' talent. And in the music industry, one perspective can change everything people believe about you. And that was what happened to Reekado Banks. But Reekado Banks did not get the signal. He went ahead to reply saying, "LOL, love you too, bro. Are we not playing this jam or not?" And guess what? Burna Boy did not reply him again. I believe if he was still under Mavin Records, they might advise him not to do that. In October 2020, Nigeria was bleeding. The youth were in the street protesting against police brutality under the banner of EndSARS. It wasn't just another trending topic. It was pain, it was anger, it was bloodshed. Wizkid, Davido, Burna Boy, Fast, every artist was lending their voices. Every tweet, every post mattered. People wanted their voices, their support, their solidarity. In the middle of that heat, Reekado Banks made a mistake. He teased a new single, Omolomo, featuring Wizkid, using the EndSARS and police brutality hashtags. It was more like he wanted to use the moment of pain for Nigerians to chase clout. Featuring Wizkid was supposed to be a moment of joy, because the dream of every artist is to work with Wizkid. But doing the right thing at the wrong time definitely means doing the wrong thing. And to the public, it looked insensitive. Wizkid didn't take it lightly. He replied his tweet and said, "Delete this, dude. I can't believe you are doing this at a time like this. Old song, fool." Wizkid went ahead and called him a clout animal in another tweet. And you know what Wizkid FC will always do? They bash the living hell out of Reekado Banks. And for Reekado Banks, it was the darkest days of his career. A positive feedback from Wizkid would have changed his entire career positively. But unfortunately, it turned out to be negative. The song in question was later released in November 13, 2020, but the song did not make it to the mainstream due to the controversies. After the EndSARS clash with Wizkid, Reekado Banks' image was bruised. The public humiliation was hard to wash off. Even though he later explained that it wasn't his fault, that his management team released the song without his approval, the damage had already been done. His shows began to slow down. His name was no longer in the hottest conversation, but he did something that changed the entire story. In 2021, he took advantage of the EndSARS protest and released a song titled Ozumba Mbadiwe. Let me take you back a little bit. In October 2020, the Nigerian military opened fire on Nigerian youth protesting against police brutality. The youths did not carry weapons, just a Nigerian flag in their hand, and they were begging the government to stop killing them. This incident happened at Lekki Tollgate at Ozumba Mbadiwe. So that song was a hit. It was played back to back, and the song had millions of streams. It reminded people of the Reekado Banks they once loved. It was even remixed with Fireboy, making it hotter. But here is the problem. One hit is not enough in today's Afrobeat. If you don't follow up with another, and another, and another, you get drowned in the flood of new releases. After Ozumba Mbadiwe, the silence returned. No consistent bangers, no viral moments, no global breakthrough, and slowly, painfully, Reekado Banks faded into the background. Until 2025, he released a new album titled The Game Needs You. I've not listened to the album, but I want to ask you, do you know Reekado Banks released an album? How was it? Did you like it? Let me know in the comment section. Recently, Reekado Banks opened up in a podcast. First of all, he regretted leaving Mavin Records. He said leaving Mavin Records was very premature. He said if he had known, he would have stayed under Mavin Records. And I remember advising him one time that he should go back to Don Jazzy and put his record label under Don Jazzy's record label. That would have helped shape his career. He also said that he met Wizkid and Wizkid apologized to him for the insult. But here is what I think, right? Wizkid would have made that apology publicly, because everything that happened during the EndSARS happened publicly and it damaged Reekado Banks' career. So Wizkid would have done his apology publicly so it would help revive Reekado Banks' career. But he did not do that. Now, this is my advice to Reekado Banks. If you are an artist or a creative, take this opportunity to learn from his mistakes. Reekado Banks had the fame, he had the fans, he had everything. But everything he had was given to him. He did not build on it. He did not convert his followers into a cult follower. He did not build an army, a loyal army that will fight for him in times of trouble. It's like someone buying you a house. You will never know how that house was built. Every artist needs a loyal fans, just like Wizkid, Davido, and Burna Boy. And today, Rema is building that army today, and is still under Mavin Records. So first of all, he should go back and collaborate with Mavin and Don Jazzy to promote his album. Then, he should create an unforgettable image for himself, a brand that people will never forget. Reekado Banks' story is not of total destruction. He's not broke. He's not forgotten. But it's a reminder that talent alone is not enough. That structures matters, the timing matters, and one wrong move can alter everything. If you love stories like this, you might also like to watch how Wizkid ended Terry's career. Click here to watch it right away, or click the playlist to watch more fame and fallout stories. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell button so you don't miss other amazing stories like this one. Thank you for watching.